CII's meeting guidelines have served us well, sustaining the integrity of our organization. With these guidelines in mind, it is a great pleasure that I introduce CII's Director Wayne Crew, who will provide a few remarks and introduce our first keynote speaker.
Morning. How are y'all? Good, I hope. Had fun last night? Wish you were in Boston full time? Yes. Sam had to leave, but I want to add my thank you for his warm welcome here to his city. What a great time we've had watching the Red Sox, playing a little golf, just seeing the city, eating some of the great seafood. I'm not sure I can afford to. I weighed myself before I came. I shouldn't tell you this, just so I'd know how much I gained when I went home, and I might wait until the 17th of August to actually weigh myself again. Danny, thank you for your introduction, and I can't thank you enough for all you're doing for us here at the conference and in general. Welcome to our 2015 Annual Conference. In launching the conference this year, I want to quickly cover 4 things with you. I want to cover the NCCER Scramble for Skills, CII awards and participation activities. I want to cover the safety data with you. I want to cover what I think is CII's special sauce and give you some evidence of that. And then I have the opportunity to introduce our first keynote speaker. So let's talk about the Scramble for Skills. As you know, it's the second year we've done it here. We've outsourced it, if you will, to NCCER and Build Your Future. We've been helping NCCER gain some sponsors. Here are the sponsors. The reality is we can't do an event like this without sponsors. We can't charge the individual players enough money because we would have no players and a huge bill at the end. But so I want to thank you, and you'll see that both NCCER members as well as CII members, Fleur, Hargrove, S&B, Southern, through their Go Build Southeast piece, Victaulic, Yates, and Zachary, all became sponsors this year. The Build Your Future campaign is about attracting workforce to be craft professionals here in the U.S. And certainly I was talking to Scott last night from Indianapolis, and there's craft professional shortages in the Midwest. We know there's craft professional shortages down in the Gulf Coast. We know that there's craft professional shortages in New York City. We know there's craft professional shortages in the Southeast. So NCCER, the Build Your Future campaign, is all about that. And actually funds that are left over from the Scramble for Skills go toward that Build Your Future campaign. But Build Your Future is more than that. Build Your Future is about changing the conversation about our industry, about bringing back that professionalism that, you know, I remember when I grew up and I couldn't wait to get to work in the morning to go chat with the ironworkers. I couldn't wait to get to work to go talk with the Boilermakers. And it's that professionalism, that pride, the work that we do, the honorable things we do that I think Build Your Future is all about. And I think we got a great start in a couple years with the Scramble for Skills. So what I would ask is next year when we call again, please step up and sponsor. If you didn't sponsor, please consider it and come and have a great day of golf with a skills clinic by Back Tee Sports, a great group of people, and then a great golf course and a great time. You know, when I was young, I thought I ran track, I played football, I played baseball, I swam. I thought golf was for sissies, right? But I didn't understand that you really got to spend quality time with people and build relationships, and I didn't understand how important that is. So do come. If you don't know how to play golf, it doesn't matter, because people who know how to play golf don't care what you score, they care about what they do. And you've got a group of professionals that can really teach you the game. So really think about it next year. It's a great time. It's going to be a great amount of fun. Let's talk about the awards, CII awards. You've got an award booklet this year. I wish you would read this, look at the awards. You know, every organization that I'm aware of has outstanding performers, and we're no different at CII. Only our outstanding performers are you. It's you who participate with us. And so I would ask you to read the award book, read about the outstanding performers and what they contributed to CII over the course of the year, and why they've been awarded this recognition for their participation for us. I do want to just run through the names for you. I won't read the names. You can do that. You can read the book. If you see them, do in fact congratulate them. We have both companies as well as individuals. And so, and not only congratulate them, but say thank you, please. What a great job they have done this past year working with us. I want to talk now about participation opportunities. I can't see very well because of the lights, but how many of you all participate on a research team or participate on a committee or in a community of practice? Well, so those of you who have your hand down or up, I guess I should say, look and find somebody that has their hand down. And I want you to make sure you go evangelize that person and tell them what a great opportunity participation in CII is, and what a great learning they'll have, and what a great development experience it is for them. Here's some of the needs we have. You know, we have about 1,000 people that participate with us on our research teams, where we delve into and use a very rigorous process to determine findings that help, when implemented, help improve the industry. And so we have our largest research program ongoing we've ever had, so we have obviously our largest need for participation. Again, I won't read these to you, but there they are, the research teams. We get our leadership at CII through our committee structure. Here we have a representation of the committees. The Implementation Strategy and Professional Development Committee are sponsoring the Best Practices Room. So that leadership comes, that opportunity to participate, that opportunity to really lead the industry, lead change, lead what's going on, be on the forefront of industry is all about our committee structure. So consider looking at that and consider your participation. And here's a slide I stole from Stacy Gibson and Dan Gary. I promised them that I would give them credit for it, so here you go, Stacy and Dan. But this is our communities of practice. We have 12 of them. We've got more coming. Every one of you should have, or your company should have, at least one individual in every one of these communities. It's 1 hour a month. It's virtual, and it's all about learning. It's all about the dynamics of learning and how you can learn from others. So I think what a great opportunity it is. 1 hour a month, virtual. You don't have to leave your desk, and you can be participating with the best of the best in our industry. What a great opportunity. And as I said, more communities to come. I do have to also give a shout out to Stacy and Dan. In our annual conference process, we have a tryout. So everybody that you're going to see, with the exception of the keynotes, it's a little difficult to get Jan to come down to Austin to try out for our annual conference. But everybody you see, all the research teams, all the committee presentations, all go through a tryout. A committee views them and decides whether they're worthy to be included in our conference. And Dan and Stacy came into the tryout, and they came in representing the Next Gen Leader Community of Practice, which they're chairs of, to present the Next Gen Leader Community of Practice. And at the end of their tryout, the committee, maybe it was me, but I'll blame the committee, suggested to them that if you're Next Gen leaders, why don't you not just lead your COP? Why don't you lead all of the COPs to come and present and tell the COP story at the annual conference? And they stepped up to that challenge, and they're going to knock our socks off, I'm sure of it. I've watched the rehearsal. They're going to do a fantastic job, and so I just want to give a little shout out and say thank you to them for stepping up to that challenge. Okay, so now let's talk about 2014 safety performance. Actually, yeah, 2014's 2015, 2014 data. So here we have the number of hours worked. You can see roughly 3.2 billion hours, the largest number of hours ever reported to CII is reported by, I think, 74 of our member companies. You can see the split. It's roughly 25 or 30% domestic, 70%, 75% outside North America. You can see we got about 7% there that we don't quite know because it wasn't reported either way. So it's included in the global numbers, but it's not included in either the international and the domestic numbers, okay? Total recordable incident rate was 0.42. That's a slight increase, 13% to 13.5 actually, over the best year we ever had in 2013 at 0.37. The days away incident rate was 0.15, so essentially no change in the DART rate. Okay. Fatalities, we had 31 fatalities reported to us last year. We had, if I remember right, 16 reported to us in 2013. Causes of those fatalities included transportation, falls, fires, and explosions were the big ones. So usually I kind of try and blow through these, but I think now I've got to stop and at least give you a little bit of dialogue here. I find it discomforting, might be a mild word, to think that we sent our workforce to the doctor at a rate 13% greater than we did in 2013. I find it even more discomforting to know that the number of fatalities almost doubled, and now recognize we had more man hours, so you actually calculate a fatality rate with 1 million man hours instead of 200,000 like the OSHA recordable or days away case, and you can see on an international and a domestic fatality incident rate of 2.08 and 0.51. If you put it all together, it comes out 1.75. 1.1 was the 2013 number, so even accounting for the extra man hours that reported this year, the fatality rate went up by 68%. I find that discomforting. I find that really discomforting. And it makes me feel like we, the leaders of the industry, let our workforce down this last year, that we took our eye off the ball maybe. I was on a conference call last week. The National Academy of Construction has a safety committee, and I was listening to an individual, and he had been on a, he's a member, he had been out on a fatality investigation, and his comments were along the lines of he was really troubled because all the paperwork was right. Okay? All the hot work permits were done and signed correctly. All of the JSAs were done and signed correctly. And his point, I think, in that whole conversation with us was that the people were more concerned that the paperwork was done and signed correctly and in the file than they were in the fact that they had just had a fatality. Okay? So I don't know the specifics of each of the 31 fatalities, but what I do know is 0 is possible. And I know that because on our projects every day, we have projects that go all day with no injuries, right? And you can take that further, not just fatalities, but no recordables. You can take that further, and if you go see Emmett Nelson in his Zero Injury Hall of Fame, many of you know Emmett. Let me just give you some examples from Emmett's Zero Injury Hall of Fame, okay? Zachary, working with Shell in 1989, 1,020,000 man-hours without a recordable incident. Parsons, working with Exxon in 2002, 1,229,585 man-hours, no recordable incidents. Burns and McDonnell, working with ConocoPhillips, 2005, over 1 million man-hours, no recordable incidents. Fluor, working with ConocoPhillips in Lake Charles, 2006 to 2008, 1 million plus man hours, 0 recordable incidents. Bechtel, working with TVA on Watts-Bar 2, 2011, 1,118,005 man hours, no recordable incidents. Kiewit, working at the Chevron Richmond refinery, 2012, 1 million plus hours, no incidents. S&B, working with ConocoPhillips, Cedar Bio, Texas, 1,543,681 man hours, no lost time incidents. We know that 0 is possible. We know it by the little pieces of every minute. We know it by the little pieces of every hour, of every day, of every project. We've got evidence that 0 is possible. And so how does it get done? Well, I want to take you back to the best practices, right? So I know the data are very clear that when best practices are in fact not heavily used, when we sign off hot work permits, when we sign off JSAs because we're concerned about the paperwork, but something else is bothering us, we know for a fact that our performance goes not good in a good direction. So I want to take you back to the best practices room. The Implementation Strategy Committee, the Professional Development Committee, put the best practices room together in our implementation sessions for you to tell you about CII best practices, to teach you about CII best practices, to talk to you about how they implement CII best practices on their projects. And I know for a fact that we can get to 0. I don't think it's phantom. I don't think it's magical. I think it can be real. I think we can get to 0. I think focus on the CII best practices, their implementation, the execution excellence that we all strive for, we all want, that we all commit to every day, and I think we can get there. So I'd encourage you to go. It's going to be repeated 4 times. Go learn from the implementers. Come away with your idea of how you can go back and change based on the experience of the people there, how you can go back and change your safety processes, your front-end planning processes to get to 0. And if you're already at 0, then go share. Go share how you did it. Because I'm sure that somewhere in there's a CII best practice that got on 0 accidents that got included. So please do that. Let's all commit to 0. Let's go to the room. Let's make this conference one where we learn to take that next step and get there. Now I want to just real briefly talk about CII's special sauce. And I think the special sauce is this combination of owners and contractors working together to improve, with academics, to improve capital projects. And just as evidence here, we took from the 1010 program. You all know the 1010 program. It's a phase-by-phase, real-time kind of performance assessment. And we took just the front-end planning phase. We looked at the front-end planning phase and said, from an owner perspective, those owners working with CII contractors where we have data, their front-end planning phase is 14% better cost performance when we look at cost growth. When we look at contractors, the contractor data we had 14.4% better with CII owners and CII contractors working together. And when I saw that, I said, that's really great. I said, but the front-end planning phase is what, 3% of a project, right? So if I'm 3% of a project and I saved, let's just say 10%, then I saved 0.3% on the project. And I'm kind of asking myself, so what, right? But if we go look at the quality of the front-end planning effort, and through 21 years of research, actually, I think 23 years now, through $100 billion worth of looking at projects, through 170 team members, maybe 4,500 years of experience on the research team, we've proven time and time and time again that good front-end planning efforts yield better project outcomes. And here we see partnership, owners and contractors working together, a 17% or better PDRI score, 17% better opportunities for good outcomes, for good safety outcomes, good cost outcomes, good schedule outcomes, good quality outcomes. Now, this isn't statistically significant, right? We don't have enough data, but it's one heck of an indication, one heck of a piece of evidence that says CII contractors and CII owners working together can in fact lead the performance revolution in our industry. So I want to encourage you while we're here this week to start to learn about how we do that and learn about this unique collaboration if you don't know about it already, or deepen your understanding of it, commit to participate in it, because it's this, I truly believe this is the secret sauce and the opportunity for the industry. So the next 2 days are about learning. They're about what has been produced by owners and contractors in a research environment working together, and some case study environment working together. The conference lineup is tremendous. I don't think I've ever seen a conference lineup as tremendous as this, and I feel like I've been doing CII a long time.